Hi, everybody. This is Shirley from Shirley's World. Hi, Diane. I'm sort of a wreck, but I'm in the clothes that I was out in the garden with, and it has finally started to rain here. We were supposed to get rain today, I thought. But luckily, because I had other things to do, I didn't get out to the garden until later. And it was still hadn't rained, but it is spritzing now. Not very much, but a little bit. I think tomorrow we're supposed to get a little bit of rain too. I went out there thinking I would plant the rest of my vegetables. Well, that didn't happen. I wanted to get my zucchini in one spot that's sort of away from everything, and I had it there last year, and it's pretty easy to get to. And yeah, but when I went to plant it there was so much ivy grown over the spot and weeds and things. So I had to de-weed, and I clipped a whole bunch more ivy. You have to pull it and clip it off. It just is an ongoing thing with ivy. But I finally got one plant planted. Now I placed my other vegetables where I thought I was going to put them. However, yesterday I was on Walmart's site, and they had one of those raised beds, the galvanized metal ones. I think it's 4 foot by 2 foot, which will go nicely in there. It had been $69.95 because they were expensive in the early spring. It was on sale for $29.95, $40 difference. If I would have had space, I probably would have bought 2 of them, but I just bought one. Yeah. I did not allot in my budget book. I never thought of you have to change your budget for in the spring and summer, because I never thought, gardening costs a lot. Especially if you're not set up like that raised bed. I wanted to raise beds, but I only got the one, and I waited really late. I mean, usually people put those in the early spring. And, plants cost a lot now. If I didn't grow them from seed this year, which you can save a lot of money growing from seed. So, but I didn't do that. I was supposed to do that starting in February, and I never did it. So I had to buy all my starter plants, and that's expensive, much more than seeds. But I still have the seeds. They always say the seeds are for a certain year, but that's not true. You can plant seeds 2 or 3 years old, and they're perfectly fine. I also forgot about this. I bought this earlier in the spring from the Dollar Tree. These are the stacked planters. Well, Dollar Tree is out of these now, because I got 4 of them, but I would like to have I should have gotten 6, but of course now they don't have them. Yeah, everybody got them. So when they run out of something that's seasonal like that, they don't get it in again for the next year. I never saw them last year, but evidently they had them last year. I got these intending to plant strawberries in them. Of course, I can't find strawberries anywhere. Even last month, I couldn't find strawberries. For sure now, I can't. I guess you have to buy them early in the spring. But you can plant anything in these. I'm gonna put little flowers, put flowers in 'em and just make something pretty for the porch. I'll have to set it up on something because, you can make these really tall. But the, problem is having enough dirt. Now, do I feel like going over and carting dirt from my compost pile, digging it, first of all, because I haven't gotten dirt from there, uh, in over a year. I didn't do it last year. So it's not gonna be easy job, and I haven't kept my compost up as far as turning it and keeping it real soft. So it's just a big pile of dirt. You know, leaves and grass and things are added to it, but if you don't turn it in, you know, keep rotating the soil, it doesn't do anything. So, yeah. So I bought 2 huge bags of potting soil. Uh, it's not garden soil and it's not seed starter. It's potting soil. I got the Miracle Grow kind. I've used that before. I mixed it, a third of that, and I mix it with a third of cow manure compost and a third peat moss. Well, we only got to fill 3 grow bags. They take a lot of soil. Filling a grow bag, and I don't even fill them all the way to the top. You don't have to fill them to the top. You can leave maybe this much space from the top. Filling 3 grow bags and a few pots for my porch out here took all my soil. So I had to go back online and order more soil. So I ordered more cow manure and more soil, potting soil. Unexpected expense. When I was looking over last month's, I was closing out May's budget book. I didn't do very good budgeting in May, and I'm going to do worse in June. Already, I'm not doing good. But yeah. But gardening season is only here in the summer here, so. And who knows, this could be my last garden. I do not have the strength anymore. I can only do little bits at a time. And yesterday when Samantha was here, I was so off kilter, and I think it was mostly, a lot of it was from the heat. Today wasn't near as hot, but yesterday in the sun out there, very hot. So, yeah, I had to keep hanging on to her. Yeah. So, I don't know. But now I have this raised bed that I want to fill. Maybe next year I'll just buy enough plants just to put in that little raised bed out there. Because then I don't have to dig holes. And even though my soil is pretty soft, it's pretty good. Yeah, they still have that deal on at Walmart. It's a Walmart, and I have Walmart Plus, so I get free shipping. So it's coming tomorrow, and all the soil came today. That's all from Walmart. Of course, you pay for Walmart Plus, but I found out that a lot of things, it's hard to believe, a lot of things are cheaper in the food department. Depending on what it is, it's cheaper at Walmart than it is at Aldi. So maybe I'll switch for a while from Aldi to Walmart and see, how it is. It keeps beeping me here. Oh, Janet. It's Bumblebee. She has to catch me on the replay. She was just telling me that. Mm. So that's what I've been doing. I've been filling bird feeders, doing that little bit of gardening, and uh, making more drafts. I only have 12 more things uh, to photograph and draft after these. These are ready to list the next 2 days now. But there's 4 things I have to iron yet. You don't garden anymore. I can't kneel on my knees at all. It's too painful. Now, I don't think my knees are that bad. I mean, I don't have trouble walking up the steps and things like that, but I can't kneel. So I used to kneel all the time to garden. So I got one of those garden benches where you can flip it. One side you can kneel on a pad, which is hard as a rock, or you can flip it over and it's a seat, a low seat. Of course, it's in the garage. I haven't I haven't brought it out to the garden yet. But I may do that to plant the rest of these things. Because what I do is I just bend over at the waist. But the trouble is, Diane, the when I'm bent over, my head is down. And it was especially bad yesterday in the heat. And I'd stand up and completely lose my balance. Yeah, that's not good for an old person to do. So I think what I'm going to do about the padding on that garden seat, the padding fell off, number one. Now I could glue it back on, but I'm not going to because they're really hard. They're not soft. I'm just going to buy a couple pieces of sponge rubber, foam rubber, and put them on. Maybe just, I don't know. I'm going to duct tape them, duct tape the foam on. It'll be much softer. I can't let it get wet then, but yeah. So I'll be able to sit, but then you have to keep getting up and down all the time. Yeah, when your knees go and you can't kneel, it's not good. Uh, if you were going to garden in one spot for a while, it would be okay, to sit. But yeah, I wish I could still kneel down without pain. So the rest of my garden, except for that spot I wanted to put the zucchini, of course, the rest of the garden is all sort of cleaned out, and I won't have to pull any weeds, and the ivy's already been cleaned out of there. You have arthritis in both knees? Yeah. My sister, who is just 3 years younger than me, in a few days, well, the 18th, June 18th is her birthday. She's going to be 80. Finally, she's reached the 80s. She's not happy about it, but yeah. But she's had both of her knees done in just the last couple years. She had one knee done 1 year, and then last year she had her second knee done. No problem at all. She has new knees, titanium knees. Yeah. My sister was she was a maternity nurse for a while in the first part of her career. And the last part of her career, she was a rehab nurse. She worked in a rehabilitation place. So she knew all about, rehabbing from knee surgery. So she did really well. And the surgery's different nowadays than it used to be, too. but it was a full-on surgery. It wasn't a scope surgery. When they replace the whole knee like that, it's a full-on surgery. But she had no problem. She did all her exercises like she was supposed to, and she has full capacity in her knees now. So, yeah, I went on. I was going to put that thumbnail that was, I don't know if anybody saw the thumbnail for that I just put on for this. I made that today, and I should have had it on the video from yesterday, but I'll save it for when I'm doing garden things out front. Uh, so that's what I've been doing today. Listing, photographing, listing, and gardening again. Same thing I did yesterday. I'm going to be needing more bird seed pretty soon. In fact, Monday I have to go get my hair cut, but tomorrow I may go to Tractor Supply and pick up more bird seed. I guess I'm going, I'll have to put this galvanized steel thing together myself because Samantha doesn't come till Wednesday, and my handyman was just here. He doesn't come back unless I call him with a list. I haven't started a new list yet. He likes to spend at least a half a day here, you know. You keep thinking about getting your knees replaced. Yeah, well, you're not sure about, well, she'd tell you to go ahead for sure. uh, Hi, Stein. Welcome. Stein, do you garden over there? Do you have a garden? I love to garden. I gardened my whole adult life, I think. Before we moved out here, I had a tiny garden, but it was beautiful in a tiny little space I had in Parma Heights. I wish I had pictures. I have photographed regular on paper pictures, like the old-fashioned pictures. But I don't have any that I could show you. And then when we moved, the reason we moved here was because I told my husband he's got to get me to the country so I can garden. That's really why we moved here. So I had gardens from the minute we moved here. I started to put in gardens. I had big gardens back then. I was in my 50s, early 50s. I have to look up exactly what year we moved here. It had to be in my 50s. But yeah, I had all kinds of energy back then. I mean, I put perennial gardens in this in the back, all around the back, huge vegetable garden. We redid the front of the house, put gardens in there. Yeah, I wish I had that energy now. Yeah, as long as if you have your knees replaced, I would do one at a time. I thought my sister at one time said she was gonna do both of them at one time, but I think the doctor talked her out of it. But, yeah, she did her worst one first and then the next one. She was bone on bone, and, if you do your exercises that are you're supposed to do, the results are very good. Because, I remember it was so different. My son had a knee surgery because he did a lot of dumb things on skis, hot dog skiing, they used to call it, and he blew both of his knees out. Well, he had one replaced back at the old-fashioned kind. He was in braces and all kinds of it was a horribly painful surgery. Nothing like it is today. Uh, yeah. So I think he had both of his knees done, or maybe he just had the worst one done. But I told him he should because he talks about getting the other one done. And he saw how well my sister did. She was much older than him. You're bone on bone. Yeah. My sister was too. Yeah. I think your right knee one of her knees was worse than the other, but it was pretty bad. Yeah, bad knees and bad shoulders, the two most painful things. You get gel shots. She got, I don't know what you call gel shots. She got steroid shots until they didn't help anymore. And then she decided to go ahead with the surgery. Just get a, good orthopedic surgeon. She had a really good surgeon, and I know a really good orthopedic surgeon here. uh, Diane, where are you from? I have my list here. It's over here somewhere. You'd think I'd clean up this desk. Here it is. Okay, you're from Illinois too. That's a little far to go to here. Yeah, I know a really good orthopedic surgeon. Mm. Yeah, I'd have to. There's two big owners of hospitals here in the area in Cleveland in the area. One is, of course, the Cleveland Clinic, and the other is University Hospitals. And they have bought out all the smaller hospitals. So Medina Hospital used to just be at Medina Hospital. It was, I don't know, a bunch of doctors that are there just own you know, the Medina Hospital, or the Medina Hospital that they worked in. So then the Cleveland Clinic bought it. So Medina Hospital is really the Cleveland Clinic in Medina. But the orthopedic surgeon I know goes to, what's the name of the hospital? It was the same thing. It was named something else, and now it's owned by University. And it's the one my daughter went to in her big accident. And then about when she, got bucked off her horse and, had a punctured lung and 8 broken ribs and all that stuff. Yeah, she was at that hospital. So, well, Stein and Diane, I think, and me, we're the only ones here, it looks like. How many people are here? We don't have a Bumblebee to keep track. I can't see how many people are here. It's usually, I don't want to fuss around here too much or I'll get booted off. 8. I think there's 8. Say hello, everybody. We don't know who you are. So, yeah, I wanted to show you the vertical planner I have. Now, that's going to take more dirt than you think, to fill those 3, 6, 9, 12 pots. I'm just going to put, like I said, put flowers in there. Yeah, 8 in the chat. Donna's here. Okay. Trying to get things done outside. It looks like rain here. Yeah, well, it's just supposed to rain. It was supposed to rain today. It's just started to drizzle a tiny bit, which may or may not last. It's not going to do much. And tomorrow we're supposed to have like a 20% chance, and then it's supposed to be sunny the next 2 days after that. Yeah. Cindy, hi, Cindy. Yeah, Cindy's here. Cindy is from West Virginia. Is it really warm there? We had one hot day, and now it's nice. It was nice today. It's in the 70s. But yesterday, it had gone up to 86 degrees. That's pretty hot in the sun. So I've already fed the dog. My dog's been out most of the day. She's in now and napping. But my cat eats at 8 o'clock. Gets her insulin at 8 in the morning and 8 at night. And she gets little things in between. I can't lie. She gets a few kibble, a little little bits of kibble and some of those things she likes the best. What are they called? Uh, those little treats. Cindy, it's 80 there now. And you have Canadian smoke. Oh dear. I haven't even listened to the news. Is something on fire up there? Something on fire in Canada? Canadian smoke? What do you mean? Are you talking about no, you're in West Virginia. I don't know where the Blue Ridge Mountains are. Is that in West Virginia? Are you talking about the what they call the Blue Ridge Mountains because it has that cloudy? Oh, you have wildfires. Oh, that's not good. Oh, they're having terrible fires in Canada. I ought to turn on the news, I guess. I'm just tired of listening to the news. All this fighting going on. So most of the day, if I'm watching TV at all, I have YouTube on, different people I listen to on YouTube. Canada had fires last year too. Bad fires, I remember. Yeah, we don't have any smoke here from that. How did it skip over us and get to West Virginia? I don't know. Uh, well, maybe you're talking about your own wildfires in West Virginia. See, that's another thing Ohio doesn't have to put up with is wildfires. We never have wildfires here. We have very few tornadoes. Excuse me, I have the hiccups now. Very few tornadoes, once in a great while. We don't have hurricanes. We have snow. We have snow and thunderstorms. So I think we're pretty lucky here in Northeast Ohio as far as weather goes. It's just putting up with the winters. Now, we had a drought last year, but this year, with all that rain we had, I'm pretty sure that the burn ban is off. I think my handyman can probably burn my burn pile this summer sometime. Because, yeah, I'd much rather burn it like I used to do every year instead of paying to have it taken away, which I had to do once and it cost a lot. Uh, I just don't like to do it by myself. Even though I've stretched the hose way over by it and just in case, but I don't like to light it. I don't like to light the fire and get it started. So my handyman, whoever I had at the time, would burn the burn pile. I just got a friend request from my old, well, he's not old, but my handyman I had for years, quite a long time ago now. He was the one that was a missionary. He worked, his regular job was he was the head of maintenance in a big Baptist church in a town that's closer to Cleveland. And he went on missionary trips too. And he met his wife in Thailand. Yeah, Thailand. And they got married and came back here. And they would travel to Thailand once in a while. But she wanted to go live with her family for a while. So they moved. And then I lost my handyman. They moved to Thailand. But evidently they're back now because the friend request had pictures of when they were visiting out in the Grand Canyon here. They really looked good, both of them. So I'm thinking that they're probably back here now. He probably doesn't do that, the handyman stuff anymore, but, and I have Mark. He's a really nice guy. Well, besides the little bit of gardening I did, and I wanted to tell you about that big sale Walmart's having on those raised beds, those galvanized steel ones. They're like a big oval. And they come in like, I don't know how many pieces. You have to screw them together. So that'll be I have to measure before I put it together in the house and then won't be able to get it out the door. Yeah, I won't make that mistake. But I don't think it looks too hard to put it together. I think it comes in I think the rounded part, I don't think that's all one piece, or maybe it is. If that's one piece, it would only be 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. But I think that's 2 pieces. So I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces each. 6 pieces. I think I can handle that. I do have I'm wearing my new glasses. You can't really tell. They look the same as the other ones. These have little diamonds here. No, not real diamonds, but they have a little, and this is metal, and they're skinnier here. But my lenses are stronger for reading, and I can read better, so I can see better. It's the far away stuff. The middle, I have transition lenses, so it's different at the top is far away, and then goes to midway, and then the bottom is your reading. But they're not. They didn't make the lenses the same as the other glasses, so she sent for new lenses. And when they come in, I just have to go in and she'll pop these out and pop those in. So hopefully it doesn't cost me anything. Thank you, Diane. I think they're a tiny bit skinnier, the frames, maybe. I'd have to, put the other ones on next to it to see. I think they are. I don't know. They're purple, even though you can't even tell. They look brown on here. They're actually purple. They're a dark purple, of course. My other ones were purple too, and I look black. Well, I think I'm going to close since we've been on here about 40 minutes. I don't have really anything to say tonight. I just wanted to tell you about what I did in the garden and show you this vertical planter I have to fill. As soon as I get my garden in and I start working on the porches, I'm going to decorate put some nice pots out there and decorate my porches to look nice. I have 2 porches in the old part of the house, and then I have my back deck. There's one place that I can sort of do something with. So, thank you for joining me tonight, even though it's a short one. I'm going to I don't know if anybody on here watching have been watching the series of The Chosen. It's going to start free on Prime, and they're having episode 1. It's starting free on June 15th on Prime, but it's starting, they're going to do a week ahead, whichever date that is, this next week. They're doing episode 1. Now, don't ask me what that's on. I think it's on their site. If you go on the Chosen app, that's all free. Sooner or later, the whole thing will be on the Chosen app. And then you don't have to have Prime Video. But I can't wait. This is the 5th fifth series, which is the Last Supper, up until the Garden of Gethsemane, I think it goes to. And then the last one, or this next one after that's the crucifixion, and then the resurrection after that. So everybody have a very nice evening, and I'll keep filming when I do anything with the garden and putting this raised bed together. That ought to be something. So thank you for joining me, and I will be back here on Sunday to show you what I've sold this week, which it hasn't been that much yet. I'm hoping it picks up a little bit. I've sold at least one thing a day, but not much. So we'll see. So bye for now. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.